Hello. Can I just want to check that before we get started? I just want to check everybody can see and hear me. So if you can see and hear me, can you just let me know in the chat below? Just a yes or no will be fine, or a big wave. Just let a few more people come into the room as well, and then we'll get started in a minute. Okay, looks like people can see my ugly mug and hear me. Okay, that's good. Lots of people here. That's great to see. Hello. Okay, we'll just give it a few more seconds and then we'll get started. Hello, Mark. Hello, John, Lofi, Aid, Lester, Joe. I can't read everyone's names out because there's a lot of people here. Okay, let's get started and then people can join us as we go. So, 1 second. Okay, well, welcome to the Crypto with Cash live workshop. As you may have guessed already, I'm not Cash. My name's Duncan Morland. I'm a writer for Market Prospectors, the company that publishes Cash's Crypto with Cash service. I've worked with Cash on crypto projects since 2017, and he's been my personal go-to guy for everything crypto since then. I'll be your compare for this evening's workshop, which is a fancy way of saying I'll be introducing Kash and pitching him your questions. And Kash, who will be joining us over live video feed in just a moment, will be the one delivering all the crypto knowledge bombs and answering all your questions. Now, before we get stuck into the workshop, I just want to make 2 quick points. Number one, this is the first time we've ever done a live broadcast like this, so apologies in advance if we run into any technical hiccups along the way. We'll do our best to sort them out ASAP and just let us know if anything like that happens. Number two, we'll be reading from a script some of the time, like I am right now, simply because we want to pack in as much valuable information as possible without waffling on. That said, we'll also open things up to unscripted discussion when we take your questions later on. Right, so let's have a look at what we have in store for you this evening. First up is the main event. During this segment, Kash will walk you through the 8-factor strategy that gave his members the chance to turn £1,000 into about £67,000, plus a boatload of other profits, as you'll see tonight. And he'll be doing this using a real example taken from the Crypto with Cash portfolio. That means Kash will give you the name of this coin, walk you through the 8 factors that make him believe it has the potential to be his next multi-1,000% gainer, give you his recommended buy up to price, and tell you the best exchange you can buy this coin on. This is valuable information members of the Crypto with Cash service are happy to pay about £400 per year for, but tonight you get this for free. Plus, if you stick around to the end of the workshop, we'll share a link to download Kash's full newsletter write-up for this coin and a cheat sheet for his 8-factor strategy, both for free too. After Kash has walked you through his strategy, we'll open up the floor for your questions, which Kash will answer live on air. And you can ask whatever you like about Kash's strategy or the crypto markets in general. We also collected a few questions from some of you before the event, so we'll be answering those too. Finally, I'll wrap up the workshop by giving you the opportunity to join Kash's Crypto with Cash service at the lowest price it will ever be. Of course, there's no obligation for you to join. You can simply take part in the workshop this evening and walk away with Kash's strategy and crypto recommendation. But we're always looking to welcome new members into the community, so the opportunity will be there for you if you do decide you want to join us. As I say, for the lowest price the service will ever be. Now, before I hand you over to Kash for his 8-factor strategy walkthrough, I just want to spell out the kind of ridiculous profits we're talking about that this strategy can generate, as Kash is a bit too modest to talk about this himself. So You see, the strategy you'll learn this evening is the same strategy that Kash used to uncover Binance coin, aka BNB, back in 2018. Now, you may have heard of BNB. It's the coin of the popular crypto exchange Binance. Well, in October 2018, Kash tipped BNB to members of the newsletter we were running at the time, which was called Cryptocurrency Profits. And in his write-up, he referenced the new blockchain Binance was building. He wrote, "This new blockchain has the potential to propel the exchange higher than it's ever been before. It can open the doors to a whole new world of customers who were previously too wary to use the platform." Fast forward to today, and Binance's blockchain is up and running. It's called Binance Smart Chain. You may have heard of it. And there is currently a whopping $25 billion being traded on it. So Kash was dead on the money when he recommended Binance Coin. And that's reflected in the returns he made his members. At the time of Kash's tip, BNB was trading at just $10 per coin. Today it's trading at $417. And in recent months, it has gone as high as $686. Timed right, that's a 6,759% return, or in good old British pounds, the opportunity to turn every £100 invested into £6,759, every £1,000 invested into about £67,000, and every £10,000 invested into about £670,000, which sounds ridiculous, but that is the kind of returns you get in the crypto markets and nowhere else. Of course, not every tip came off like this one. There were losers from that time period too, but a 6,759% return, along with a few more winners in the hundreds of percent, more than made up for any losses we had. So perhaps it should be no surprise that Kash recently received a happy email from one of his subscribers from back then. His name's Mark, and he wrote, "I don't usually write in at all, but I just wanted to let you know that I still have the same crypto recommendations you gave me from 2018. In fact, Mark is so confident in Kash's ability to pick winning cryptos, he's joined us on the new service, Crypto with Kash. Of course, Kash doesn't just use his strategy to produce long-term returns like we saw with BNB. Since we launched his new service at the end of March this year, Kash has already helped members lock in some tidy short-term profits too. For example, right before the crypto markets started to correct back in May this year, Kash sent an alert to members recommending they cash in half their position in one of his recommendations. The result? Members made a quick 150% profit while Bitcoin itself crashed to half its previous value. Crypto with Kash member Glenda said Kash sent out this sell alert with incredible accuracy. Also, members like Graham and Nigel have been using Kash's buy-level recommendations to lock in quick profits like 50% in a matter of days. And we also recently locked in 100% gain on another of Kash's picks. And today, we also sent out a sell alert, which locked in another two 150% gains from the portfolio. Now, 150% returns might not sound like a lot at first, but if you're picking the right coins, over time, smaller profits like that can spiral into multi-thousand% gains, just like we saw with BNB. But again, only if you're picking the coins with that kind of upside potential, which is what you're about to learn how to do, as Kash shows you his 8-factor strategy. So without further ado, let me get rid of these slides. And I shall introduce you to Kashaya Abassi. So hello, Kash.
You're right.
Thanks for joining us. Can I just check in the chat? Can everybody hear Kash and see him? Maybe shout something, Kash.
Hello, hi. Can anyone hear me? Okay, all good. Okay.
Okay, I will disappear. And
thank you very much, Duncan. Hello, everyone. It's great to have you all here. If you haven't guessed yet, my name is Kashaya, but you can call me Kash for short. I won't bang on about my history with crypto, as I know you probably want to get stuck in learning my strategy and get the name of that tasty free tip. What I will say, though, is that I'm not some super social media guru with millions of followers or some ex-Wall Street trader who has suddenly seen the crypto light at the end of the tunnel. I'm a pretty ordinary person that happened to stumble into crypto early doors. In fact, I was lucky enough to buy my first Bitcoin back in 2014 when I was trading at around $300. And I've basically been obsessed with these markets ever since. That said, I take a pretty different approach to investing in crypto than most people out there. I'm sure you've seen the way most people go on about choosing which cryptos to invest in. They'll hang off every word of some famous guy who's made millions investing with government funding or in a completely different market, or they'll rush to buy the latest meme coin trending on social media because maybe, just maybe, this will be the one ticket to financial freedom. Or they'll become rabid cheerleaders for developers who spend more on marketing initiatives than developing an actual product. I mean, if you need any proof that getting your name on the side of the bus doesn't guarantee long-term success, just take a look at the recently collapsed football index. For example, shares in Harry Kane went from being worth $7 to basically nothing overnight. And the company is now in administration and facing court proceedings. Now, don't get me wrong, gurus, social media, and marketing can definitely have an impact on the price of cryptos, but it's usually only over the short term. For example, I'm sure you remember back in May when a single tweet from Elon Musk would rock the crypto markets. For a little while, it seemed like he was the Pied Piper of crypto and the markets would follow him wherever he tweets. But the Elon effect soon wore off as people stopped reacting to his every word. For sure, there's a high noise to signal ratio in these markets, meaning it can be very difficult to determine exactly what's moving prices at any given time. But in my experience, there are several specific factors that affect the long-term trajectory of crypto prices more than anything else. If you're familiar with the stock markets, you might have come across something called factor investing before. Since the 1970s, a bunch of very smart academics have been proving that there are 8 specific factors that predict outperformance in stock markets. They are volatility, yield, quality, momentum, value, size, growth, and liquidity. These factors are even proven to outperform world index trackers over the long term, which are what most people will recommend as the holy grail of stock investing on the UK personal finance subreddit, for example. Anyway, the important thing for us is that the stock market isn't the only place where a set of specific factors predict outperformance. In my experience, investing in crypto since 2014, there are also 8 factors that are consistent to tell you whether a crypto has the potential to boom or whether it's just another dud. It's these factors that helped me uncover BNB in 2018 when it was trading at just $10, and just about all the other successful crypto picks I've recommended over the years. So what are these 8 factors? From the top, they are the big idea, the team, minimum viable product or MVP for short, advisors, partnerships, competition, total value locked or TVL for short, and exchanges. As promised, let's walk through each of these factors with a real example taken from the Crypto with Cash portfolio. The name of this crypto is Sushi, and it's currently trading at around $13, similar to BNB back in 2018. In fact, I really believe this coin could be the next BNB, trading in the hundreds of dollars over the next few months and years to come. And I think you'll agree with me that once you see my 8-factor analysis. So let's get stuck in, and then afterwards I'll share my buy up to price so you can know the optimum price levels to buy this coin at. Okay, factor 1, the big idea. This is pretty self-explanatory. For me to even consider investing in a product or crypto, it has to solve a problem, and the bigger the problem it solves, the better. Equally important is that it actually needs to use blockchain technology to solve this problem. Otherwise, some traditional finance company might as well do the job. So what is Sushi and what problem is it solving? Sushi is the native coin of the decentralized crypto exchange SushiSwap. You've probably already heard of or even used big crypto exchanges like Coinbase and Binance, where you go to swap your pounds for crypto. These exchanges are centralized, meaning they are owned and controlled by a single entity. They also mostly don't run on blockchain technology. On the other hand, the SushiSwap exchange exists solely on the blockchain. And as you'll see in a moment, the SushiSwap community decided who should govern it. This is what makes the project decentralized. And it also solves the big problems centralized crypto exchanges are currently facing. Maybe you saw the news about banks like Barclays stopping their UK customers from depositing to Binance Exchange. They said it's to help keep your money safe. But it's hard not to think that traditional banks are starting to get scared of crypto cutting into their profits. But here's the thing. How do you close down a decentralized exchange like SushiSwap? It's not owned by a company you can regulate, and it's running on thousands of blockchain nodes spread out across the world. The answer is you can't. So that's the big tick for SushiSwap for having a big idea to solve a big problem. Better yet, it also solves another problem. The platform started out as a direct copy and paste of the popular decentralized crypto exchange Uniswap. Now, crypto projects copying each other's code is par for the course. That's what being open source is all about. But the creator of SushiSwap did something very clever when he copied Uniswap's code. He added extra rewards for yield farmers. Whether you've heard about the DeFi yield farming craze that's been going on over the years, people have been generating hundreds, thousands, and even millions of percent on their cryptos. For example, the other day, I found a ridiculous 9 million percent yield. Of course, even yields in the tens of percent bring in huge volumes of traffic because traditional bank interest rates are so low. And SushiSwap has been at the center of this madness, offering yield farmers some of the best rewards in the crypto space. So by my measure, Uniswap solves two problems for the price of one. So next up in our factor analysis, we have the team. Even though crypto projects are decentralized and not necessarily owned by any one person or group, they're still being developed by people. And it's important to make sure those people are legit. As I just mentioned, SushiSwap isn't owned by a company, but there are people behind it. The main one being Sam Bankman-Fried, a well-known figure in the crypto space. Sam runs the centralized crypto exchange FTX, which is the fourth biggest in the world, trading more than $6 billion in volume every single day. He was put in charge of SushiSwap last year by its original anonymous creator, who is known as Chef Nomi. But instead of running the exchange like some kind of totalitarian overlord, Sam handed the keys to the community by letting them vote in 8 other people to help govern SushiSwap. This was locked into something called a multi-sig contract, which is where decisions to change SushiSwap have to be signed off by 6 or more of the governing members. So not only does SushiSwap have the backing of billion-dollar Sam, it's also safe from any one vested interest. For me, that's a big green tick for the team section of our factor analysis. Next is factor 3, minimum viable product, or MVP for short. You might have heard of this before. MVP is a phrase used a lot in software development. The basic idea is to take a project from the idea stage to the working product stage as quickly as possible, even if that working product is a bit bare bones. That way you actually have something to test in the real world. This is hugely important when choosing cryptos because there are so many failed crypto projects that take people's money and never deliver on their promises. In fact, according to 99bitcoins.com, there are 1,600 dead cryptos and counting. And I bet a lot of those never even made it out of the hopes and dreams stage. So in my opinion, you just shouldn't touch a crypto project if it doesn't already have an MVP up and running. The good news for SushiSwap is that it's not just a minimum viable product. It's not just got a minimum viable product. It's got a fully featured product that's been working in the real world for nearly a year now. For example, the platform offers swaps between over 1,500 crypto pairs, and a whopping $92 billion has been traded on it so far. These numbers consistently put SushiSwap at the number 2 spot in the rankings of decentralized exchanges on the Ethereum blockchain. So yeah, I'd say that the MVP factor is well and truly ticked. Okay, next up on our factor list, we have advisors. But we've actually already covered that because Sam Bankman-Fried is SushiSwap's main advisor at the moment. And he's a pretty safe pair of hands. So that brings us to factor 5, partnerships. In other words, who is investing, doing business with, or just endorsing a crypto project? You know what they say. It's not what you know, it's who you know that's important. And it's no different in the crypto space. So is sushi a popular crypto snack? The answer is yes. Sushi is working with some of the biggest names in the crypto space, but maybe not in the way that you might think at first. You see, these aren't the kinds of deals or partnerships you'll find in the traditional business world where 2 companies sit down and hash out a formal contract. Instead, SushiSwap allows you to take yield-generating coins from other platforms, bring them onto SushiSwap, and earn extra yield on them. Of course, it goes the other way too. You can take yield-generating sushi coins and earn extra yield on them on other platforms as well. In this way, Sushi is partnered with all the big hitters in the DeFi yield farming space. You've probably heard some of them. For example, there's Yearn Finance, Cream Finance, Aave, Pickle, Acropolis, and Keeper Network. Sushi's good mates with all of them. So this is another big green tick for our analysis, even if it's a bit of an unconventional way. Now, number 6 on my list of factors is competition. It should be pretty self-evident why this is important. Put simply, the right amount of competition can help stimulate healthy growth between crypto projects, while too much competition, or even worse, a monopoly, can leave no room for a new project to grow. I told you earlier that SushiSwap copy and pasted the code from the decentralized exchange Uniswap when it was starting out. So from the off, Uniswap is its main competitor, and it still is today. Now, when we compare the daily trading volumes of these two exchanges, there's one clear winner. On busy days, Uniswap can swap over $2 billion worth of crypto assets, while SushiSwap might only do 500 to 600 million. So Uniswap is a clear winner here, but that doesn't tell the whole story. You see, when we look at the metric called PS ratio, which takes into account a platform's revenue alongside its market cap, things look very different. Simply put, a high PS ratio can mean a coin is overpriced, whereas a low PS ratio can mean a coin is reasonably valued and therefore has a higher ceiling for growth. When we compare SushiSwap and Uniswap, SushiSwap has a PS ratio of 6, whereas Uniswap has a ratio of 17. Remember, lower is better in this case. So this suggests that Sushi, at its current $13 per coin price, is undervalued, whereas Uniswap, which is currently trading at around $30 per coin, may be overvalued, or at least certainly not as good value as Sushi. This narrative is reinforced when you compare total revenues for the two platforms too. Despite Uniswap having a market cap 8 times bigger than Sushi, Sushi's revenue is still more than a third of Uniswap's. If you get confused by numbers, don't worry. The simple takeaway here is that Sushi again appears to be undervalued. All of this gives Sushi a big tick on the competition front for me. Right, we're nearly finished with our factor analysis now. And this next one is a quick one. It's a metric called Total Value Locked, or TVL for short. We've already spoken about yield farming. That's when people lock their cryptos into various platforms to earn interest. Total value locked is simply the measure of how much is locked into a given platform. This tells us how popular a platform is and also how much trust people have in a platform. After all, would you tie your money in something you didn't have faith in? So, to cut a short story even shorter, SushiSwap is killing it on this front too. DeFi Pulse, which is a leading DeFi finance stats website, puts SushiSwap in 3rd place in terms of TVL across the whole Ethereum blockchain. And the TVL metric on another site puts the TVL of Uniswap and SushiSwap even closer, with about $3 billion a piece. Again, this is with SushiSwap currently trading at $13 compared to SushiSwap at around $30. Whichever TVL numbers you want to use here, Sushi really does look like a bargain. And that it gets a nice big green tick for the TVL part of our analysis. Which brings us to our final factor, which is exchanges. This one is very simple. Simply put, the big crypto exchanges like Coinbase and Binance act as a kind of curation service for the entire crypto space. You see, they didn't want to get in trouble with regulators, so they try not to let any dodgy coins onto their platform. So if they list a coin, it's got to be pretty legit in their eyes. Of course, this is just a guiding light and not a strict rule. You're always bound to find some crypto wasters sneaking through the back door. But it's a quick and simple check that people can make to see how much mainstream appeal a crypto has. And the good news is that SushiSwap is available on Coinbase, Binance, and most big crypto exchanges. So that's a nice easy tick for this check too. And there we have it. I've walked you through my 8-factor analysis for Sushi. I hope you can see why I'm so excited about the future potential of this coin. In many ways, it reminds me of BNB back in 2018, except being fully decentralized, I'd say it has even more going for it. That's why I say the current $13 price point is a bargain, and my official buy-up price is $25. Remember, if it goes the way of BNB, it could be trading in the hundreds of dollars over the next few years. That's why me and my many Crypto with Cash members are stocking up on this coin while it's still in the double digits. Of course, there are risks you need to keep in mind if you are going to invest in Sushi or any crypto for that matter. The whole crypto market is very volatile, and people always say, but you really shouldn't invest any money that you can't afford to lose. No one knows for sure what the future holds, especially for such an innovative technology like the blockchain. yes, it could take over the world, but alternatively, it could all get eaten up by government regulation and disappear. I mean, I don't think that's very likely because of the nature of distributed technology, but it's definitely not impossible. That said, you really don't need to put a lot of money into a crypto like Sushi for the potential to make some nice returns. £100 would get you a nice stack, and if we were to see the same multi-thousand percentage gains that we saw with BNB, you'd be sitting on thousands of pounds in profits. Of course, you can apply this 8-factor strategy to other cryptos too, to your own analysis. As Duncan mentioned, if you stick around to the end of the workshop, you'll be able to download my full write-up for Sushi, plus a cheat sheet for my 8-factor strategy, both for free. Right now, though, I'm going to bring Duncan back in, and we're going to open up the floor to your questions. Thank you.
Oh, let's sort this out. Thank you, Kash, for taking us through your strategy. Right. Just to recap, if the tip is Sushi and the buy-up price is $25, and now we're going to take questions from you all. So if you have questions about what Kash just talked about Sushi, about his 8-factor strategy, or about the crypto markets in general, just post them in the chat and we'll try and answer them for you. So we'll just give you a minute to ask any questions in there. And so, Alvin, I can see that you said the broadcast has been not working very well for you. So I'm really sorry about that. We'll be sending a replay out tomorrow, so you'll be able to watch it in full.
There's a bit of a lag, so there might be more for any questions.
Kash, maybe I can start with a question quickly. Mm-hmm. And one of the questions we had in the emails that we were sent was, what's your advice when the crypto markets dip? Like, what do you do? Like, if it's me, I probably panic. Yeah. How about you?
Well, naturally, a lot of people panic once you invest in something and it dips. You panic because you feel like you're going to lose all your money. But I actually see it as an opportunity to accumulate more at lower prices. So because I'm in this for the long run, I know there are people out there who think crypto is a get-rich-quick scheme. Even though you can get rich quick in crypto, I wouldn't necessarily categorize it as a get-rich-quick scheme. I implement something called like a dollar cost averaging strategy, where you buy, say you have £1,000 to invest, for example, you divide your purchases into periodic purchases. So, for example, you buy every week £100 worth for 10 weeks. That way, you don't go all in at these prices, and that way you can capitalize on any like potential price drops.
Yeah.
So the main thing is, I'm in this for the long run. I'm not here for like short-term profits, even though you can make very quick gains. I'm really in this for the next 4 or 5 years, even further. I mean, Kathy Woods from like ARK Invest sees Bitcoin hitting 500,000, and she was saying this back when Bitcoin fell from $60,000 to $30,000. You know, that's a 50% drop, but she's still saying she's got conviction that's going to 500K, and she's obviously not the only one.
Yeah, it's worth saying that something you've been advising members to do is take a part of one of the portfolio picks. So sell part of the holding to sort of make we did it today with 2 of the coins to make 250% gains, but then you leave the rest of it to ride risk-free, essentially.
Exactly. So when you sometimes like your investment doubles, you can take out some your initial investment and leave the rest so you can ride the market, and essentially that becomes a risk-free bet on the market.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got some questions coming, so I'll just start from the top. So Paul asks, can you explain crypto cycles? And I guess that might fall into, we were talking about one of your picks today, and you were saying that, it needs to cool off. So I guess that feeds into the market cycles of, what I thought and that kind of thing. So what are your thoughts on market cycles?
What I'd say to that is, well, crypto does seem to trade in cycles, and that is perhaps due to the fact that Bitcoin, the mining rewards get halved every 4 years. So in essence, they become more scarce every 4 years. So what this means that the asset becomes more scarce. So it actually gets talked about in the media a lot. People start talking about it. They see it as a hedge against inflation. So they buy up because it's a very scarce asset. For that reason, there are cycles in crypto, I would say. But if you look at every cycle, for example, you could go from $20 to $100 and crash back down to $80, and then $80 to $2,000, crash back down to $150. But then if you look at the long term, it's gone from $50 all the way to now $40,000, $50,000. The long term trajectory is up, even though there might be short term price fluctuations. It is very difficult to time the markets in these cycles, but as someone like me who's a long term investor, I don't get worried. Like I mentioned earlier, I buy more when it crashes. I actually see it as an opportunity to accumulate more at lower prices. So I'm in this long run.
Yeah, and that's because the cryptos that you're investing in, you have faith in them because you've done the research. So you're not just buying kind of meme coins and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's worth saying, like, zoom out on your crypto charts, put it to years rather than days on the.
Yeah, so it could look like this. So there could be short-term price fluctuations, but on the long term, the price is upwards. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Let's have a look at. Got some more questions. So John asks, where do you recommend purchasing sushi at that level? So I'm guessing he is talking about exchanges.
Yeah. So I would recommend, maybe I use Binance a lot. I use FTX a lot. It's also available on Coinbase. So those are my top three exchanges, I would say. I can see another question here on can you buy on Etoro? Some of these other platforms, I'm not exactly sure if you can invest in the actual asset itself, or whether it's like a digital product that they've created that kind of represents the crypto. I would definitely recommend owning your assets instead of using these platforms that give you an asset that represents the crypto. As people say, if you don't own your private keys, you don't technically own your crypto. So one thing I'll definitely recommend is, if you do buy on these crypto exchanges, including Binance, FTX, or Coinbase, maybe withdraw it into your own private wallet. That way, for example, if it gets hacked or if something happens, you have access to your coins and you don't have to rely on a crypto exchange to.
Yeah, and if you're new, it's worth pointing out that Kash has written a guide for his members about all the different options for crypto wallets and that kind of thing. So if you do end up joining the service, that guide will walk you through all that stuff. Let's have a look at the next question. Tim asks, presumably you have made a lot of money from crypto, so why are you doing this to make money? I'm guessing he's saying, why are we running the service when you should be driving around in a Lamborghini somewhere?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And the honest answer is that I'm genuinely very interested. So being one of the only people in my friendship group who got into Bitcoin early on, I've been always trying to get my friends to join, because I try to help them understand it, because I see this as a massive opportunity. I'm the type of person who, if I find something cool, I always tell other people about it. This might be a bit annoying, but recently I bought these VR goggles, and I just think they're amazing. And I've just been trying to convince all my friends to buy one so we can play ping pong together. So it's just one of those things where I try to, because I've got such an interest in it, I try to spread that experience and knowledge to other people.
Yeah, and that's a huge part of the community with these kind of services. The services are obviously about making money, and the recommendations making money. But another massive part is being in those, in the private Telegram group, talking to people, answering each other's questions, getting excited together when the market goes up and that kind of thing, and being able to be in a community of people you trust as well, because you can just go on Reddit and Twitter and stuff, but there's like we talked about, there's so many scams and stuff out there, and people not doing the proper type of analysis, I'd say as well, just sort of buying stuff because they see it on social media. So I hope that answers your question.
One thing I'd just like to add is that I appreciate Tim's skepticism, but because there are a lot of people out there who make these huge promises, they say, oh, you can do this and that. But for us here at Crypto with Cash, we're looking at long-term pump We're not here to pump dump coins. Naturally, when you're in the crypto space, seeing how these platforms work, they actually send you loads of adverts that are usually scammy. So they would say, oh, we're going to pump a certain coin at a certain time. They promise short-term profits, guaranteed profits. There's no such thing. I'd be very wary of those. Here with Crypto with Cash, we're literally here for the long term, looking at investments 2, 3, 4, 5 years and further. So that's the difference, I would say.
Yeah, it's the idea of buying a company like Amazon early on. You would want to buy it Amazon stock early on and hold it to today, basically.
Yeah.
But then also taking some short-term gains to
Yes, exactly.
take some of the money off the table. Okay, the next question is from Lutho, and they ask, which is better, trading, investment, or mining crypto? So there's three quite distinct ways of approaching the crypto markets there.
Yeah, I would classify myself as an investor as opposed to a trader. Like I mentioned earlier, it's very difficult to time the markets. Of course, there are times where you are in a lot of profit. You can take some money off the table, lock in, take out your initial investment, and just leave the rest. But I would classify myself as an investor because, again, I'm here for the long term. Mining crypto may not be as profitable as it once used to be anymore because there's just so many people doing it. Unless you have access to countries like Tajikistan or Uzbekistan, where electricity is a lot cheaper than it is here, then maybe mining crypto is actually still profitable there, but maybe not so much here in the UK.
Yeah, I'd also add to that, because I looked into this as well, is you have to buy a lot of like graphics cards and things like that, computer equipment basically, and those markets, the graphics card market is really expensive at the moment. So while it's possible, it's just really hard to get hold of the equipment you need to actually mine cryptocurrencies profitable. So you're having to put up that initial money, and then it takes months to kind of make it back. But I mean, it's doable. People do it. You see it on Reddit and stuff. And just day trading. What do you think about day trading in crypto markets?
Day trading, again, it's very difficult to time these markets. There's also a lot of fees involved if you are buying and selling like multiple times during the day.
Yeah.
For that reason, I don't really engage in that sort of activity. But I would say if there's a thing that some people do where you say you have £1,000, you invest £800 of it, and with £200 you can try day trading. But again, as with anything, number one rule is only invest what you can afford to lose. But yeah, if you want, you can have a go at day trading, but don't use your whole investment amount with it.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is working out what temperament you have. For me, it's definitely long-term investing and not day trading. So I think it's a personal thing as well about how you manage your emotions and that kind of thing. Right, let's have a look for another question. John asks, do you have a recommended source or sources to gain the requisite knowledge about individual coins? So I'm guessing he's asking like decent websites to go to get sort of stats information. Where do you go to kind of research coins? So maybe if you can give him your top kind of websites for that kind of thing.
Yeah, one direct source I would recommend is maybe reading the white papers of the actual project of the actual projects. So you can read through that. Alternatively, given how like there's a strong community in crypto and crypto projects, you can actually join their Telegram pages, Discord pages, Twitter pages, and actually ask questions directly to the CEOs, developers, community members who are actually helping to develop the project. You can talk to them directly. That's the great thing about crypto. You're actually able to talk to these people and ask them questions that you may have. So probably the best way is to join their communities, ask as many questions as you have, and take it from there.
Yeah, I'd also add if you're looking at DeFi, well, also like CoinGecko is a good place just to follow crypto prices broadly, and DeFi Pulse is a website I really like for DeFi cryptos specifically, which is there's a good information about total value locked, which is part of Cash's strategy. Okay, so let's have a look for another question. You've already answered the question from Warwick about Etoro. David asks, as the UK banks have all stopped payments in and out of Binance and some other exchanges, what's the best way of transferring pounds into Binance?
Well, one thing I would think, UK banks, as far as I know, have actually stopped payments in and out of Binance, but they haven't done so for FTX or Coinbase. So one thing you could do is maybe deposit pounds into Coinbase, exchange it into USDT, which is Tether, which is like a stable coin. Each one Tether represents $1, and then you can transfer that from Coinbase into Binance and then buy from there.
Yeah, I mean, or you can just buy on Coinbase or FTX
Yeah.
has probably as many crypto options as Binance, but I know a lot of people like to use Binance still.
Yeah, still the number one exchange. Yeah.
So I hope that answered your question, David. Okay, so Des asks, can this be exchanged for cash? Who do you sell to? So I guess what he's asking is, I guess the basics of buying a cryptocurrency like sushi. So if you could, what would be the sort of basic step-by-step process of buying sushi and then selling it?
Yeah, so you deposit pounds into Coinbase, you go in the market, change your pounds into sushi, and then when you want to sell, you go into the same market and you exchange sushi for GBP or USDT, or USDT being Tether dollars, and then you can literally just withdraw from the exchange into your bank account. Of course, that doesn't include Binance, as we have seen, but Coinbase and FTX, you can do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say, it says here, who do you sell to? Well, you just sell to other participants in the market. Some of these coins are being traded. They're receiving billions of dollars in volume per day. So there's always going to be someone who's willing to buy or sell your coins.
Yeah, like if you have an experience in the Forex markets, trading currencies is exactly the same process. And a lot of the apps and stuff for crypto now are so smooth. The transactions are very easy to do. It's not like sort of 5 years ago when we were running the other service when it was like quite complicated to buy cryptocurrencies and sell them. Okay, let's see. So Bismar asks, hi guys, I'm a newbie in the crypto world. I have accounts on Binance and KuCoin. Is it safe to leave the crypto on those platforms so I can easily trade or lock in to earn interest? Cheers. So Kash, what's your answer to that?
Is it safe to leave the crypto on those platforms so I can easily trade or lock in interest? I've actually got accounts with both Binance and KuCoin. I don't really use KuCoin much anymore since Binance basically offers anything and everything that you need to do in crypto. Is it safe to leave the crypto on those platforms? I would say that if you are taking the right measures to protect your account, yes, generally speaking. The safest option would be to withdraw your funds into your own private wallet, not leave anything on exchanges, because there is a chance, of course, that exchanges can get hacked, and there is no guarantee that these exchanges will reimburse your losses. In that regard, for Binance, if you are using two-factor authentication, so that means if you are logging in, you receive a text message every time you want to log in with a code, or you use an authenticator app that changes every 30 seconds or so, which you have to use on your phone, for example. It's an app that you download. Every 30 seconds, a different code pops up, and you use that code to log into your account. As long as you are taking these measures, not clicking on any sort of links that you're unfamiliar with from emails and things like that, then you should be okay, generally speaking. Of course, like I said, the safest option would be to withdraw your funds, but generally speaking, you can also leave them on the exchange.
Maybe for really large amounts, you might want to put them into cold storage.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Paul says he's just bought some sushi on Coinbase, so nice one, Paul. Tom asks, hi Duncan, and Kash. When booking profits, do you convert to stable coins? What stable coins do you recommend? That's a good question, especially with all the news about Tether.
Yeah, well, you can convert it into, on Coinbase, you can turn it to GBP. On other exchanges, you can turn it into Tether, BUSD as well. BUSD is Binance's stable coin. USDT is the most popular stable coin. You could hold on to the stable coin just so you can invest later if the market crashes, or you could always, of course, send it back to Coinbase and withdraw your funds all the same.
Yeah. I mean, do you have a preference to which stable coin you use?
I use USDT a lot. So that's the coin that I use, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Elaine asks, she's just saying, I just want to say thanks. Your manual was very educational. I learnt a lot that she never knew. So thanks for saying that, Elaine. Paul asks about a few different cryptos. There's two I'd like to highlight: ADA and Aave. Are they cryptos that what are your thoughts on those two?
So
They're probably the most popular.
Solana, Aave, and Ada. Ada, I think is Cardano. Aave. To answer you very briefly, they're all. I would say they're very good projects. Solana, more so than others, I would say. Ada, which is Cardano, I know they've been developing a smart contract platform for a few years now, and I think within the next month or so that will be coming out. So it'll be interesting to see how that performs, especially as there are other competitors on the market now with Binance, Neo, and Solana. Generally speaking, I do like those coins. So yeah.
Because ADA is supposed to be the sort of main Ethereum competitor, isn't it? But it's only just launching smart.
Yeah, I would have hoped to see them launch their smart contract platform a lot sooner. I mean, it's been in development for a few years now. Other crypto projects have, managed to do that in a lot less time.
Yeah.
But as it is coming out in the next month or so, I'm excited to see how that does. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how it does. Yeah. Let's see. Robert asks, can you recommend an AI crypto trading bot? I mean, do you have an experience with using bots for crypto trading? There's a lot out there, actually, isn't there?
Yeah, there are a lot out there. It's a difficult one to answer because there is no one like AI crypto trading bot. As you said, there's many. Unfortunately, given how popular crypto is, there are going to be a lot of scams out there which overpromise and guarantee profits. I would suggest staying away from anything that guarantees profits. AI crypto trading bots. I know there are ones out there there are ones that are profitable out there, but usually they tend to be very expensive. So it might take a while before you make back the money that you spent on the trading bot. There's nothing that I can recommend today, unfortunately.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I don't know anything about that, so I'll keep quiet. Okay, so Lee asks, he says, hi guys, in the newsletter you obviously recommend a crypto and its buy up to price. Do you also tell people when to sell? So let you answer that, Kash, because today
actually we sent 2 sell alerts today. We locked in over 140% profit on each. So we took our initial investment plus some profit, and then we're going to leave the rest to ride the markets risk free, essentially. So yes, to answer your question, we do tell people when to sell as well.
Yeah, it's more so the newsletter is every 2 weeks, and the sell alerts are as and when Kash thinks position should be sold. So today was one of those days. Aid says HSBC still allows transfers into Binance for anybody that is looking to deposit into Binance. Scott says, in your manual you mention hardware and software wallets. Is it one or the other or both? So I guess he's asking about the difference between hardware and software wallets. If you just...
Yeah, so hardware wallets are something that look like this. Obviously, this is a little mouse, but it is shaped like a USB sort of device. Yeah. It's used so that you have to physically verify transactions if you want to make one. Software wallets are like a little extension that you install on your browser, so that if you want to send something, it asks you, do you want to approve this transaction? You click yes. They're both very popular for larger amounts of money. I would recommend hardware wallets, but software wallets are very good as well.
Yeah, they're really easy. I've used MetaMask, which is a really popular one. Yeah, and I no longer leave my laptop unattended in cafes.
Yeah.
But okay, so I hope that answered your question, Scott. Okay. So Steve says, firstly, thanks for this webinar. It's very interesting and very much appreciated. Well, cheers for attending, Steve. Secondly, I may have missed it, but will there be a maximum total of sushi that will become available, like with Bitcoin? And is there a factor to it? So I guess he's asking that what's the the total market supply of sushi? Like, how is there a limit like Bitcoin?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe that sushi is capped, so there will only be a certain amount available. The good thing about sushi is that because they're developing so many new products, the more the platform is in use, the more that people who actually stake sushi will be able to earn. So, obviously, the team members own some of the supply, and they are vested for a certain number of years. But because they're using some of the funds for marketing, for example, they're also using some of the supply to build these new products. And the more that the platform is used, the more that it will be scarce, basically. And because you are able to actually stake sushi on some of these platforms, and some of our members are staking on Binance, that actually kind of incentivizes people to hold onto their tokens. Because then you can actually earn interest on your coins. So that way, a lot of the supply is actually stored away in staking platforms. So
yeah, so it's scarce in the sense that it's people are holding on to it, and there's lots of incentives to hold on to it. Okay, but so hopefully that answered your question, Steve. Phil says, great discussion, guys. Some communities seem to be polarizing and confrontational. What are some of the benefits and types of people in your Telegram community? So I think we can both speak to this, but how do you see our Telegram community, Kash?
Yeah, I like it because we help to answer each other's questions. We share each other's success. We ask questions about, like we saw earlier in the chat, some people asking about wallets, staking, things like that. We all help each other. I think those are one of the main positives about it, really. I really like our community. There's people from different levels of experience, each helping each other. And I would say we're confrontational is the furthest thing for our group.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely supportive. And also, I just mentioned, I think I'm going to mention this a bit later as well, but one of the members, Graham, literally has written, I think, 2 guides, just sort of short guides, how-to guides for people for 2 issues, and just shared that with other members. He just kind of did that off his own back. So it's that kind of space, and like asking questions, no matter how stupid they are. Like I ask loads of stupid questions, and then sharing news and stuff like that, and talking about what's going on in the markets.
Yeah.
And it helps with the emotional roller coaster of something like crypto, where it is a volatile market, and if you've got like a like-minded group together to kind of ride it with, it makes it a lot more manageable, and you can stick to the cryptos that are in the portfolio and you have faith in, kind of thing.
Yeah, I remember just a few weeks ago when the markets, there was a market downturn. Some members were asking questions like, what's going on? Are we still sticking to the game plan? And as I mentioned before, since we are in this for the long term, we actually see price dips as an opportunity to accumulate more. So that actually helps to calm some nerves and actually see dips as an opportunity rather than a way to panic. Yeah.
And also we should say, you started putting in. So there's the buy up to price in the newsletters for each pick, and then there's the lower buy orders, which are kind of what they sound like. Do you want to just explain them, people, quickly?
Yeah. So say, for example, a crypto is trading today at $10. We would also set some buy orders at certain key levels below $10, so that if the market does turn down, your buy orders will get filled, and your average buying price will be lower than what it is today. This happened, in few weeks that passed, and a lot of our members were actually able to make very quick gains, which is what some of the sell orders today were. They bought lower and were able to turn around quick profits. Those buy orders lowered down are very useful.
Yeah, and again, it's because you've got faith in the long-term potential of these cryptos, exactly. So you're just kind of taking advantage of dips. Okay, let's see. Okay, so David is asking about the offer, and he's been replied to by Josh, who's moderating. Tim says, at some point the government will introduce digital currency, so then what happens to crypto? So I don't know, people might have seen this in the news, governments all around the world, including the UK and the Bank of England, are talking about introducing their own kind of cryptocurrencies pegged to the local currency, so pound coin. But it would be, I would imagine, it would be like privately controlled by the Bank of England or something like that. So what are your thoughts on that kind of thing, Kash? Is
Yeah,
it the end of
the thing is, I feel like when those are rolled out for the average person, it won't be much different at all. So it'd be like, using your card to pay for something. You're not physically touching the money there. You're just using your card. The payment's all digital. So for the average person, I don't think it would make much of a difference. When it comes to what happens to crypto, I don't think much would change at all. The difference between crypto and maybe like a centralized digital currency is that with crypto, it's decentralized. There is no one entity controlling everything, whereas with a digital currency introduced by like a central bank, the central bank is essentially the entity that controls it. There are some dangers, of course. There are discussions where people say, a central bank could stop a certain person from receiving funds, or they could be locked out of the system, for example. These are the dangers that actually cryptos are helping to avoid. Because there is no centralized entity in many of the projects, and there is no way to stop a coin from existing. So
yeah,
I think those are the distinct differences there.
yeah, I'm hoping that there's some kind of war between central banks offering high interest rates and cryptocurrencies offering high interest rates. So interest rates go up generally, and that's better for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a few people asking about an offer to join the service, and I'm going to talk people through exactly what's involved in the service in a few minutes once we've finished with the questions, and also give you the chance to join the service at the lowest price it's going to be from here on out. Let me just see if there's a few more questions, so we'll answer those. So Itu Meleng asks, what's your take on G999 coin, if you've heard of that, Kash?
Unfortunately, I haven't heard of that coin before, so I have nothing to say about that one. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. Well, I say maybe get some sushi instead or as well.
But one thing I will say is, if you are looking to invest in the crypto project, the website that Duncan mentioned earlier, CoinGecko, is a very good one to go to. If you search up a coin and it doesn't appear on CoinGecko, that's usually a bad sign. It's a red flag. And the other thing I would say would be to perhaps stay away from the top 200 coins. Top 200 coins, even obviously, generally speaking, most people invest in top 20, top 50 coins. The lower down you go, the higher risk it becomes, and higher risk, higher rewards. But anything below 200, I would say, is a very big risk. So just be very careful.
Yeah, so you're saying like coins are generally listed in terms of market cap, like how much money is invested in them, and you'd stick to the ones with a lot, the top 200, basically. Yeah, I'm just repeating what you said.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So Gary asks, do you invest in ICOs? It's like being back in 2018. And is there a likelihood of coin giveaways like what happened with Binance for sushi, or has it already happened? And he says, thanks.
Yeah, I have invested in ICOs in the past. I would say it's very high risk because you're getting in at the ground level. I remember a couple of years ago, I actually invested in a dating platform crypto ICO because I remember, if you recall, there was like a hacking that happened for one of these dating platforms where a lot of people got exposed.
Right, okay. Oh, yeah, I do remember that, yeah.
And I was actually thinking, okay, a dating platform on the blockchain is unhackable. So I invested in the project. The mistake I made was that there was no MVP. So there was no product that existed. And I'm very happy to say that to this day, the platform still doesn't exist. No product exists. It's not even listed on the exchanges. So I lost my money on there. And that's why, the strategy helps to avoid things like that.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. And back in 2018, 2017, like with all the ICO stuff, so many of them had no product. It was just promises and, and so many, like you showed earlier with the 1,600 dead cryptos, so many of them just dead. Okay, we're going to just answer a few more questions and then move on. Joe asks, how is crypto taxed, and how do HMIR track dealings? Can they?
Yeah, so regulation and taxes with crypto is a great area, but generally speaking, I think they are taxed the same way as capital gains. So anything above the threshold, you will get taxed on. But it's a dynamic. It's a move. Like it can change at any moment. So definitely keep researching that because it could change any day. Especially now that crypto is in the limelight, there is going to be more regulation coming out, so that could change.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'd also say with some of the interest generating stuff, that does fall under income tax. But like, there is guidelines on the government website. Some of the crypto stuff just doesn't fall quite into the guidelines.
Yeah,
so
it's a gray area. Like sometimes with airdrop, sometimes with staking. Like, how do you classify that? So maybe in a few months or maybe even years, that will be clarified.
Yeah. And I'd also say when he's asking, can they track you? I'd say yes, they can, as well, unless you're using a cryptocurrency like one of the privacy coins. But even then,
I would not avoid taxes on crypto, actually, especially because like some of these exchanges are actually legally obliged to pass your details on to these sort of institutions if they request it. So I would not avoid paying taxes at all.
Yeah, pay your taxes and think of the NHS if you're in the UK. A few more questions. Simon asks, do you have any opinion on zoo coins, which Sam Volkering is involved in? Sam Volkering is a crypto investor.
Unfortunately, I'm not too familiar with zoo coins specifically. Again, I would maybe point you towards CoinGecko to see where it's ranked on that website and maybe take it from there. But unfortunately, I'm not too familiar with zoo coins.
Yeah, and you could also look at zoo coins through the lens of the 8-factor analysis to see if it holds up. Does it have a minimum viable product, partnerships, advisors, that kind of thing. Okay, let's see. So Steve, I don't know if this is a question. Yes, it is. Steve says, surely governments, so we're going back to the governments, surely governments introducing cryptos will help legitimize them on the whole, bring far more interest, help prices, and breed more trust and less skepticism in them. Has to be a good thing.
See, I would actually agree with that, because unfortunately with crypto, just naturally it's the scams and the hackings that gain most of the coverage, the media coverage. So a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions when it comes to crypto. A lot of people are naturally very skeptical of new technologies, especially new investment opportunities that everyone seems to be talking about. So in that sense, I do think that governments introducing cryptos will help to legitimize them. I definitely agree, and I believe that in the long term, it will be very good for crypto.
No, I agree with you too, and I think it's like almost an unfashionable opinion in the crypto space, because a lot of it, at least on Reddit, which I probably read too much, is just very sort of anti-government, and I do understand why, with all the corruption and things like that. But there's a lot of good things about government and that kind of thing, and like you say, and like regulation in a space that, like cryptos in the past and now somewhat, has been like a wild west where a lot of people have lost a lot of money as well as made a lot of money. Okay, so I don't think that's a question from Mark. It seems like we need to do a whole event on government digital currency. Simon asks a question, and I probably have this as the last question. So, I have found day trading difficult to profit from due to the fees taken in transactions. Do you have any advice on this process?
Yeah, I think one thing that differentiates us, like our crypto with cash product, with other crypto products, is that we're in this for the long term. We're not promising short-term gains or anything of that nature. We're here for 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead. Of course, there are going to be times where we can make a lot of profit in the short term, take some money off the table. But day trading, as I mentioned before, is very difficult to time the market. As you mentioned, Simon, there are a lot of fees to take into consideration. One way would be to reduce the amount of trades that you make in a day, perhaps. That could help to reduce the fees. But yeah, day trading is very difficult. I think the official statistic is something like 90% of traders lose money, generally speaking. So that's why I don't classify myself as a trader. I'm more of an investor.
Yeah, again, it's a temperament thing, isn't it? And yeah, I'm with you on that long-term investing. Okay, well, thank you everybody for your questions, and we're going to say goodbye to Kash now. And thank you, Kash, for taking us through this strategy and answering everyone's questions. And I'm going to tell you all a little bit more about the service. So let's see if I can make this technology work. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much to everyone who took part in the Q&A then. There were some really great questions, and I hope both of our answers helped you out. Now, as promised, we're going to drop 2 free goodies into the chat for you in a moment. The first is Kash's full write-up for sushi. So you have a record of the research he walked you through tonight, plus the recommended buy up to price. The second is a cheat sheet for Kash's 8-factor crypto trading strategy, which you can use as a quick reference to analyze just about any crypto on the market. Remember, applying this strategy can be the difference between picking a coin like BNB that goes up 6,759% or a coin that falls flat on its face. So you'll probably want to make sure you grab both of those freebies when we share them in just a moment. Now, while we sort that out, I just want to let you know that even though sushi is a very good pick for your portfolio, it's actually not the coin with the most profit potential in the Crypto with Cash portfolio. There are other coins in there that are even cheaper than sushi, are even earlier in their development, so less people know about them. And if they fulfill their promises, could make a 6,759% gain look quite small. For example, while most people are looking at Cardano, Polkadot, or Matic as the coins to overthrow Ethereum, one of Kash's crypto picks is already faster and cheaper than all of those. For example, when Ethereum's network is busy, transactions can cost as much as $300, and that's even with the recent upgrade. Yet transactions on this crypto in Kash's portfolio, the transactions on that network cost just a fraction of a cent. So that's $300 versus a fraction of a cent. And that's without waiting for complicated layer 2 solutions to be developed, like we're seeing with Ethereum at the moment. This crypto also has the fastest growing ecosystem out there, with 250 projects already being built on top of it since it launched last year. And better yet, it could soon become cross-chain compatible. That means developers will be able to copy and paste their projects from Ethereum straight into this crypto's ecosystem. So it could see a huge influx of cross-pollination money in the near future. All of this, and it's still trading in the tens of dollars. To put it lightly, I think this coin is an absolute steal. Then there's Kash's Ghost DeFi crypto. This bad boy isn't tied to one crypto network like most decentralized finance projects. Instead, it taps into all of them to let its customers swap cryptos at super low fees. That means it benefits from the success of just about every crypto network out there, including Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. While still being bulletproof if one of them was to fail, as it always has the other networks to keep trading on. That's why it's already racked up nearly 100 million in trading volume, and yet you can pick it up for less than $1. I just want to tell you about one more of the picks Kash has shared with members of his service, because this one is my personal favorite. I won't say too much, but just know that it's a project being run by a guy many people say is crypto's answer to Amazon's Jeff Bezos. This creator's previous project was just valued in the tens of billions of dollars, and Kash expects their new coin to be as big, if not even bigger. And right now it's still trading in the low dollars. So in my opinion, that's another absolute bargain. So I hope you can see how the Crypto with Cash portfolio is packed with a huge amount of value. But we actually want to increase the value factor even more. You see, tonight we want to give you the chance, as I mentioned earlier, to join the service at the lowest price it'll ever be from here on out. That's because in a few days' time, the price of membership to Crypto with Cash will be going up for good. And now this isn't some marketing gimmick. The initial pricing for the service was just intended for the opening months. And the truth is, even with the small uptick in price, we'll still be offering more value at a lower price than any of our competitors. You don't have to take my word for it, though. let me run you through what's included in Crypto with Cash membership, and you can decide for yourself. So first up, as you might have guessed, you get access to the full Crypto with Cash portfolio, including Sushi. That's 9 coins Cash believes have huge upside potential. For each of these picks, you get Cash's full 8-factor analysis write-up, his recommended buy up to price, lower buy order prices, so you can snap up a quick bargain if the price dips, like we mentioned earlier, and a portfolio allocation percentage, so you know just how much of each coin to stock up on. There's also a shared spreadsheet where we keep track of the official portfolio numbers. You can copy this for your own use or just refer to it whenever you want to get a quick overview of the full portfolio, as we always update it when new picks go out. Speaking of new picks, Cash will deliver you a brand new crypto pick every 2 weeks. We found this is the perfect time frame to slowly build up a long-term portfolio of crypto big hitters. To be clear, we're not day trading here, as we talked about a moment ago. Our members prefer a more relaxed buy and hold approach to crypto investing. So the bi-weekly newsletter is perfect. In each newsletter, Cash talks you through the impacts of recent news on the crypto markets, and then gets stuck into the down and dirty 8-factor analysis of his latest tip. As I mentioned a moment ago, this includes the name of the coin and ticker symbol, his full research and reasoning for the recommendation, a portfolio allocation percentage, his recommended buy up to price, and some lower buy orders to take advantage of any dips. When it comes to selling portfolio picks, as we mentioned earlier, sell alerts are sent out in email form separately as and when they're needed. This is so we can take advantage of any short-term market action to bank some extra gains. Like the sell alert we talked about earlier this evening, where members banked a quick 150% gain, and the 2 sell alerts that went out today, which also banked 150% gains. Now, while Cash's crypto picks are obviously the main draw of the service, there is a very close runner-up, and that's the Crypto with Cash community. You see, we run a private Telegram chat group, as we talked about earlier, where members are invited to chat with each other and Cash and me. There are 3 main things that go on in the community chat. Number 1, we all celebrate winners together, like when Marco bagged a quick 10% gain whilst he was asleep, or when the whole group celebrated gains of 9%, 22%, 19%, and 12% in just 24 hours. The second thing that goes on in the group is we all help each other out. Like when I helped Glenda move crypto from an exchange to her crypto wallet, or when Marco helped Sam pick the best crypto exchange for his situation, or like I mentioned earlier, when Graham straight up wrote an entire staking guide to help other members make as much as 57% interest per year on their cryptos. And like I said earlier, he just decided he wanted to write that up to help other members. By the way, Graham also made 58%, 42%, and 104% in just 5 days, buying and selling some of Cash's picks. Of course, we also have lots of fun chin wagging, and this is the third thing that goes on in the group. We have lots of fun chin wagging about all the goings on in the crypto world. Whether it's serious news about banks limiting deposits into crypto exchanges like Cash talked about earlier, or just a bit of banter at Elon Musk's expense, which everyone can enjoy. As you can see, the Crypto with Cash community is a huge part of the service. After all, crypto is a new and exciting world, but it's also big and messy and confusing at times. So what better way to navigate the choppy crypto waves than with a crew of like-minded folk at your side? As Glenda says, she finds it very reassuring to keep reading positive news and keep buying steadily alongside everyone else. And talking about getting help with your crypto adventure, don't worry if you're brand new to the game either. As well as having the community to back you up, Cash has put together 2 super accessible guides to help you get started too. The first is his beginner's guide, which unsurprisingly does what it says on the cover. It gives you a good introduction to the crypto space and DeFi cryptos in particular. Inside, Kash walks you through the current state of crypto in 2021, an introduction to DeFi cryptos, his full 8-factor crypto strategy, and a step-by-step guide to buying cryptos on Coinbase. The second guide you'll receive as a member of Crypto with Kash is called Risky Crypto. Again, the giveaway is in the name. This guide covers everything you need to know about crypto wallets, risks, and scams. Inside, you'll discover a breakdown of the 4 crypto wallet options and the pros and cons of each. Guidelines for avoiding scams like fake cryptos, phishing, pump and dumps, and social engineering, and advice on how to survive market volatility, secretly centralized cryptos, which is a tricky one, and other pitfalls of crypto technology. As I say, if you're new to the space, these guides and the community will have you up and running in no time at all. So to summarize, Crypto with Kash membership bags you Kash's current 9-coin portfolio and his write-ups for each of those cryptos, a hot new crypto pick every 2 weeks, email sell alerts as and when they're needed, access to the private Telegram community, and 2 guides, one to introduce you to the world of crypto and one to help you survive it. So how much will all this set you back? Well, you might be thinking an arm and a leg and then another arm and a leg. After all, you've already seen how Kash's BNB tip could have turned every £100 invested into about £6,700, every £1,000 invested into £67,000, and every £10,000 invested into £670,000, which again sounds ridiculous, but these are the crypto markets. And we're talking about getting access to a portfolio packed with cryptos potentially poised to repeat these kinds of gains and potentially do even better, plus a new crypto recommendation and write-up delivered to your inbox every 2 weeks. But I personally think Crypto with Kash membership is a bit of a bargain, as you can snag quarterly membership tonight for just £129.97. That gives you access to everything I've already outlined, plus 6 new issues of Kash's newsletter going forward, each containing a new recommendation. And of course, you get our rock-solid 30-day money-back guarantee with that quarterly membership. When you think about it, the profits from just one of Kash's picks could easily cover a whole year's subscription cost and more. So the value really does outweigh the upfront cost here, I think. But that's actually not the best deal we've got for you this evening. You see, if you opt for annual membership, you can bag a tidy £119.91 discount. Why are we doing this? Well, as you've seen today, Kash's approach to crypto investing is picking well-researched coins that have the potential to make you huge gains over the medium to long term. As we talked about, we're not FOMOing into the latest coin trending on Twitter. That's why Kash wants to reward new members who bring a long-term attitude to the community. So if you grab an annual membership today, instead of paying £519.88, which is what a year's worth of quarterly membership adds up to, you'll pay just £399.97. As I say, that's a saving of £119.91. And you actually get a 60-day money-back guarantee with the annual membership, whereas it's a 30-day money-back guarantee with the quarterly membership. So we've bumped up the money-back guarantee for the annual membership too. If that sounds good to you, you can go ahead and secure your membership by clicking on the link that I'm about to share with everybody in the chat right now. So just give me a moment. So you should see a button pop up that allows you to go to a secure order form where you can read exactly a breakdown of what you're getting and the costs and everything. If you want to join us, again, there's no obligation, but you can, and that's where you can go to do it. As I say, it's up to you what you choose to do tonight. You can pick quarterly or annual membership, or you can go it alone in the world of crypto and not take us up on either offer at all. But both me and Kash would love to have you on board as part of the Crypto with Kash community, and I'm sure the other members would too. And now is a very good time to get in. As I mentioned earlier, membership prices will be going up in a few days' time. As I said, the initial pricing for the service was just intended for the opening months. So after midnight on Sunday, that's this Sunday, quarterly membership will rise to £194.95, and annual membership will rise to £599.95. As I said earlier, even with the uptick in price, we'll still be offering more value at a lower price than any of our competitors. I believe there's no question about that. But if you want to secure the best deal on membership, it makes sense to get on board before midnight this Sunday. That way you'll secure membership at its lowest price ever. And by the way, you'll get that rate locked in for as long as you stay subscribed. So for life, if you like. As I say, you can go ahead and secure your membership by clicking on the link that's below where my face is, below this window right now. As soon as you do, you'll receive a welcome email with instructions on how to access everything we've promised you tonight. Oh yeah, and of course, there's one more thing we need to talk about. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about it. We promised you Kash's full write-up on sushi and a cheat sheet for his 8-factor strategy to download for free. I'm going to pop links for those in the chat right now, so just bear with me for a moment and I'll make those available. Okay, so you should see links to download both of those in the chat right now. Just let us know if you have any problems with that. And also don't worry if you don't get around to downloading them this evening. We're going to email you a replay of this event tomorrow, which you can watch at your own pace. And I'll make sure the 2 freebies are available to download in that email too. That way you can't miss out on any of the free content we've put out tonight. For now, I'm going to start reading the chat again and answer any questions you might have about Crypto with Cash membership. I'll do my best to answer your questions. So if you do have any questions, just fire away and I'll stick around for a few more minutes and answer. I should just say there's a slight lag on the broadcast, so your questions will come up at a slightly different time for me. So I'm just waiting on them, if there are any. Simon says, very impressive, well done. Well, thank you, Simon. And Mark says that thanks, a good webinar. So cheers, Simon. As I said, it's the first one we've done, so there's always a bit of nerves and stuff involved, but we wanted to sort of get as much good information across to you as possible. John says, thanks very much. Enjoyed the session. Thanks, John. Beck says, well done, guys, but that's she's slightly biased because she's the moderator. Okay, well, I think no questions seem to be coming in. So if anyone does have any questions going forward, okay, no, we just got questions coming in. It's the lag. Okay, so Phil asks, how long has the service been running for? The service launched in March this year, 2021. So March, April, May, June, July, August, so about 5 or 6 months now. Kash previously ran a service which I was part of back in 2018, and I think that ran close to a year. I'd have to check. But if anyone, if you can email us and I can get the exact dates if you like. Oh, great. Steve says, very informative and very impressive. You've convinced me. I've just signed up for the year. Well, welcome aboard, Steve. And you should get your welcome email this evening and have a read through that. And also, if you have the Telegram app on your phone, join us and we can chat away in there. Ita Maleng says, thank you, guys. Much appreciated from SA. Paul says, thank you. So we have till Sunday to take up the offer. Yep, Paul. And as I say, we'll be sending you a few emails with links to a replay and the free downloads in case you didn't get them tonight, and more details on the offer. So yeah, you have until Sunday. There's no rush. Scott says, thanks for the webinar. Really interesting. Cheers, Scott. Simon says, glad to see your style isn't the American ram it down your throat like some other advisors, not to mention any names. I'm glad you said that, Scott, because we try to like strike a balance of, you know, showing the strength of the service, but also giving you some decent information about investing in crypto, so you can walk away with that information if you don't want to join the service. Oh, and Glenda, who's a member, who's watching tonight. So hello, Glenda. She says, yes, really great. Best thing, it's all true, which is reassuring, and this group is very genuine. Never cocky or condescending, even with novices. Thanks, guys. That's a great testimonial. So thank you very much for saying that, Glenda. It's really kind. I'm sure Kash would be very happy to read that as well. I'll just stick around for a minute or so and see if anything else comes in. But if not, thank you everyone for, you know, attending the workshop tonight. And as I say, I hope that the information that Kash really, like his strategy and everything, can help you out. And even if you don't join the service, take the freebies and then use that strategy on any coins you're thinking of investing in. It's a better alternative than just reading Twitter and like or Reddit, as I do, and jumping on the next thing everyone's talking about. Just run it through those 8 factors first. Okay, I think that might be it. So as I say, okay, no, one more. Lee says, if we sign up for the quarterly and like it, can we then upgrade to annual for 3,997? I'm being told yes by my overlords. Yeah, that should be fine, Lee. If so, you can try it out on the annually and have the 30-day money back guarantee, and then just speak to us and upgrade if you like it. Lofi says thanks. Well, thank you very much for attending. Mike says just signed up, found it very interesting as a newbie. So welcome aboard, Mike. Thanks very much for joining us, and get on the Telegram group if you can. Des says he's in. Well done, Des, and very good to have you on board too. As I say, like, Telegram group is a great thing to join if you want to, if you like that kind of thing. Stephen says, many thanks. I'm really a newbie at this, but have made money so far. So well done, Stephen, for making money. No worries, Lee. Okay, again, I'll just give it a minute, but I think that might be it for questions. Again, thank you everyone for taking that time out of your evening to join us. Okay, I think that might actually be it. So, as I say, if anyone has any questions, you can always reach out to us via email. We'll try and respond quickly to you. And we'll be in touch in the next few days. Okay, Paul. I don't think I'm going home tonight. Are most of the coins available on major exchanges? In the portfolio, some of the coins are not available on Coinbase, but they're all available on Binance and FTX. So if you can get accounts with Binance or FTX, then you can get all of the coins in the portfolio. I mean, some people buy all of the coins in the portfolio. Others kind of read the write-ups and pick and choose. Some who are newer maybe start with a few of the bigger allocation coins, and those ones are available on Coinbase, I think. So you could start there and then open an account with FTX or Binance. But drop us an email if you have more questions about exchanges, and then maybe we can write a list of for you about the exchanges that these coins are available on. I'm gonna call it a night at that. Again, if you have any further questions, email us and we'll respond. And thank you very much to everyone for attending this evening. You asked some great questions, and I think it's been a good workshop overall. So thanks very much and take care. Okay, bye.